gasoline I smell?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you all are doing amazing as always, and it's me, Joe, as always. And today, guys, I'll do top 5 worst and best horror movies of this year. Are you excited about that? Well, we'll do that today. And guys, this year was absolutely crazy in terms of like horror movies. We got the end of the Halloween trilogy. We got the new Hellraiser movie. It was just so much stuff happened, and I'm just so happy about that. And I'm obviously extremely happy doing this video. I think that I should probably start with the worst. No. We'll do the best horror movies first, and then we'll do the worst horror movies that just are so bad, are repulsive, and just shit, pure shit. I wasn't making a lot of videos in December because I was in the hospital, and I was laying in the hospital, and I wasn't doing well. Okay, so I'm glad that I can be here tonight and making this video. Anyway, guys, I am Joe, as you know, and let's get right into it, guys. Let's start with the best horror movies, and I chose 5, but I have to mention some movies that I really enjoyed, but they didn't make it into the final 5. So first of all, Halloween Ends, movie that is really controversial. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people think it's mid, some people think that it's really good. So it's like whatever. I enjoyed Halloween Ends, as I said multiple times, but I can acknowledge that it is a movie that just doesn't feel like a Halloween movie, if you know what I mean. So I get why some people just hate this movie, okay? Another great movie, Pearl, which was a sequel to X, which also came out this year, which is insane. But yeah, Pearl that was a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed it. I think that Ty West is a really talented director, and I think he delivered another great horror movie. It is a sort of historic movie, about like the beginnings of some stuff, and the movie is really colorful, it's bloody, and I have to say I really enjoyed watching Pearl as I enjoyed watching X, and we'll get to X. Another movie, Orphan, The First Kill. I was I thought that this movie is gonna be bad. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought that this movie is just gonna be just pretty bad. I was expecting a really bad movie, but what we got was a really good movie. I was genuinely surprised how good this movie was. Considering that it is a prequel to the first Orphan movie, it was surprisingly well done. The only thing that I don't like about that movie is the use of CGI towards the end with the fire, because like that looked bad, but I get it because this movie wasn't like this movie probably had a budget that was very low, so they couldn't afford, doing like some really good effects. So, but overall, again, I really enjoyed this one, and it was surprisingly well made, and it was enjoyable, and it was great. Another movie that I think that I should mention is Barbarian. Now, this movie, I'm not gonna say anything about it other than that it was absolutely amazing. I loved this movie, and I'm not gonna say anything else. Then, Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 almost made it to my top 5 this year, but Terrifier 2 was so fucking good. I think that the movie is like over 2 hours long. It is a long horror movie, but it is a slasher at its core. It is such an incredible movie. Like, I fucking loved Terrifier 2, and they made it on like what was the budget for that movie? Like 250K. Like, that is insane, the amount of money, and you can just tell that they love that the director and the actors, they really had a great time doing this, and that, like, the love for slashers is just there, and it is amazing, and Terrifier 2 is awesome, and Art the Clown is pretty fucking cool. Another movie, Scream 2022, a great movie. I thought that they could do maybe a bit something else. I think they should have done, like a more, how to say this. I think they should have done just a bit more unpredictable movie, because the movie was predictable, which is something that a Scream movie shouldn't be. But overall, a great movie. I really enjoyed it. Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera. I loved the new cast. And I'm excited for what they have in store for Scream 6. I'm just really excited about Scream 6. But Scream 2022, a pretty good movie. Really enjoyed it. And yeah, I enjoyed Scream. And then the last one is pretty controversial, and it is the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022 that came out on Netflix. And this movie, damn, people are like people hate this movie. Like, they hate it. But I really enjoyed it. Like, it's not a good Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, but it is a good slasher movie, and it is a good and fun movie. It's also very well shot. I enjoyed the gory kills, and yeah, I mean, I watched the movie like this year, I think like 4 times, 5 times maybe. I really enjoyed Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. It's not a amazing movie, like, it is not some elevated horror, but it is a fun movie that I would highly recommend if you haven't seen it. Now, let's get right into my top 5. So starting with number 5 is Smile. And Smile was the biggest surprise of this fucking year. I was blown away by Smile, honestly. I was expecting some mid-bad horror movie made for teenagers, but what we got was a really well-made psychological thriller almost, dealing with the past of your family, and dealing with all this family drama and trauma, and just overall this movie was really, really cool. The soundtrack was amazing. Everything about this movie was pretty damn good, and the last act in the house, that was so good, and the ending was so good. I loved the bad ending. Like, not that it's bad, but that it wasn't a happy ending. That fact that I loved. Overall, Smile was a big surprise. I even did a video on Smile, and it was a movie that I really, really enjoyed. Number 4 is Nope. Nope was a movie that I was really excited about, and I think it delivered. And why this movie, why I love it so much is because I love aliens, okay? I love horror movies with aliens and UFOs and all that shit. And I feel like that movies like that just aren't being made anymore. Maybe they are, but they are like these super low budget, crappy movies. But this was a Hollywood movie, and it was fucking amazing. It was essentially like Jaws, but instead of a shark, you got a UFO in the sky, and the UFO was alive. That was a spoiler, by the way, but anyway, amazing movie. I fucking loved Nope. I loved Nope. It was so fucking cool, and it was just so really, really good. Okay, my number 3 is fuck, I don't know. I can't even speak. My number 3 is Hellraiser 2022, obviously. Now, this movie was really, really good. Honestly, I have to say I was really excited about it because, like, I love Hellraiser, and I especially love Doug Bradley as Pinhead. And this movie was surprisingly well made. This was good. It was like, it wasn't like a typical Hellraiser movie, but it was even more like the book, the Cliff Barker book about Hellraiser. I forget how it's called, but I don't like reading books, but I've heard people saying that it is much closer to his book. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. This movie is gorgeously shot, and it is a crime. It is a fucking crime that this movie wasn't in theaters. This was a Hulu movie, and I gotta say, this movie was really, really good. The performances were great. The new Pinhead was so fucking cool. I think that Jamie Clayton did such a good job with Pinhead. And yeah, like the new Hellraiser movie, I really enjoyed it, and I thought that it was pretty good. Okay, let's get right into my number two, and that is The Black Phone. Now, The Black Phone, this was a really good movie, and my cat currently is trying to like attack me here. I don't know if you can see her. Look at her, goofy cat. Okay, the Black Phone was really good. It was essentially about like these kids, right? And as they, it was essentially about kids dealing with their problems. It was like a really just well made, even psychological horror movie. No ghosts, no demons. That was actually, I actually really appreciated that, because like, today you got so many horror movies filled with like demons and possessions and stuff like that, and this wasn't it. No demons, no ghosts, just a good old horror movie. And it was amazing. The grabber was so fucking scary and spooky. It was so well made, and it was just like a really depressing movie. Also, I love the atmosphere, by the way. The fall atmosphere in this movie is amazing. It is so good. So The Black Phone is my number two, and my number one may surprise some people. It is X. Yeah, it is X. And this movie, I wasn't expecting much, I guess, because I didn't know what to expect. But what I got was a movie that was so fucking good. Like, it felt so fresh. It felt like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie mixed with some weird shit. And it was so awesome. Like, I really enjoyed this movie. Mia Goth was absolutely amazing. And also Jenna Ortega was in the movie, and she was also pretty damn good. This was a really fucking good movie. Like, X surprised me the most this year, and I love it the most. And I love it so much. Like, this movie is so fucking good. I just don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to add, because this was such a nice movie. It was scary, it was spooky, it was weird, it had a great atmosphere to it, of like rural Texas and stuff. It was so good. And my favorite song, which is Don't Fear the Reaper, was in the movie, and that was just I when I was when I was watching the movie and the song started playing, I was like, oh my god, yes. This movie was so good. X was so fucking good, honestly. Okay. So let's get right into my least favorite movies, and you could even say movies that I kind of hate, I don't hate them obviously, but I don't like them, okay? So let's get right into it, and starting with number 5, The Firestarter, or it's just Firestarter. It's just Firestarter. Okay, the Firestarter. I'm saying it again. Firestarter remake. Now, this remake was a bit strange, honestly. I just don't know why would you like do a remake of the Firestarter movie, because like the OG movie, it's not the best movie ever, but it is kind of like a product of its time, but also it is a really entertaining movie. Honestly, I was just really enjoying it, and I'm enjoying it to this day, the OG Firestarter. And especially when you watch the movie together as a double feature with the original Carrie, you get this horror superhero double feature that's actually really good. And yeah, I was just very surprised that they are doing a remake. And then when the movie came out, I went to see it in the theater, but the movie also came out on Peacock the same day, and it was disappointing. It was just very mid and just not very good. Zac Efron was okay, I guess, but the movie just felt really low budget, especially in the third act. It almost felt like some kind of like a fan-made movie, if that makes sense. It was just not very good, honestly. The only thing about this movie that saves it is the soundtrack from John Carpenter, Cody Carpenter, and That soundtrack is so fucking good. If you don't want to watch the movie, you don't have to. All you have to do is listen to the soundtrack of The Firestarter, because this movie's soundtrack is just so good, and just wow, it just blew me away. It's just the soundtrack is so great. Anyway, that's it for my number 5. My number 4 is Choose or Die. Choose or Die. This was a Netflix movie, I think, and it sort of popped out on my home screen, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it. And this movie is just nothing. I'm just not gonna even bother talking about it, because this movie is about nothing. There's nothing interesting in this movie. There's nothing happening in this movie. It's just about nothing. So I'm moving on. This movie was shit. My number 3 is Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Now, this movie has nothing to do with the original director, because the original director is, not a very good person. He raped a kid. And this movie has no connections to him, but the thing is that this movie is just pure shit. It's very low budget, and you could say that about the first 3 movies, I guess. But this movie is just so low budget. 1, 2, 3. Okay, my number 2 is The Mean One. Now, this movie came out 3 weeks ago or something, and it is a movie about, Grange being a slasher killer, essentially. But this was very poor. This movie was just bad, and this movie was just so fucking bad, honestly. I don't even know what to say. I was really expecting that this movie would be about Grange, going around and killing people, but it's not like that. The Grange appears just like a few times in this whole movie. And whenever he does, those scenes are great. Whenever he does appear, the scenes are amazing with him, but he's not in the movie much, and the rest of the movie is just bad acting, like a really bad acting. This movie just looks pretty cheap. It looks bad, and it's just shit. I'm gonna be honest, it's shit. Okay, the few scenes with Grange are great, but other than that, this movie is just bad. This is just a bad movie. Okay, guys, and now my least favorite movie, horror movie that I have seen this year, They Slash Them, with Kevin Bacon. This movie was just so fucking bad. I was just like, but this movie is not bad that it's like poorly shot or just poorly edited, because it is like it was made by Universal, I think. So no, it doesn't look bad, but this movie is just the worst movie in terms of like pacing and tones. Because I was expecting maybe a slasher movie, maybe. For those of you that don't know, They Slash Them is essentially about this conversion therapy camp where, they bring some LGBTQ kids and they try to make them straight. And, so the topic of this movie is very heavy and just very tough. But this movie just doesn't know what it even is, because the tones change. The tones are changing so frequently that it's bizarre. This movie is a psychological thriller. This movie is a comedy. This movie is a slasher movie. This movie is a thriller. This movie is a comedy. It is like that, and it is literally insane. If you saw this movie, let me know down below, because it is like that, and it was fucking insane to watch this movie, honestly. I was just like, what's going on? Because there's a karaoke section in the movie. Then there's this scene where this teenager is getting electrocuted or whatever. It is fucking insane. And also there are 2 sex scenes in this movie. And, sex scenes in horror movies, are it's like a normal thing, right? But in this movie, the sex scenes almost seem like they are from some porn, literally. They go on for like 3 minutes. They are shot like porn. And it is so weird to watch. And it's not because like the characters are gay or whatever. It's just like, it would be pretty weird also if if it would have been like a straight couple, but like the sex scenes in this movie are just so fucking bizarre. I was just like, what am I even fucking watching? And then the ending is just like this almost Disney like movie where everybody is happy and now we're gonna sing. I was like, what the fuck? Am I watching a horror movie or a Disney Channel fucking TV show, Like, what the fuck? Like, oh my god, this movie was so weird, so terrible. And I feel bad for the cast of this movie because they genuinely tried, but when you got a script that's like this bad, you can't really do much, So, yeah, guys, that is essentially it. The worst horror movies and the best horror movies of 2022. Now, 2023 is gonna be really exciting year for horror because we'll be getting so much stuff. The Friday the 13th TV show, Scream 6. We're getting, in a few weeks we're getting that Megan movie. Really excited about that. And yeah, just so much stuff, and I'm just so excited for all of that. This year was fucking crazy too, like I'm not gonna lie. But next year is gonna be like next level cool. The Poltergeist remake, Five Nights at Freddy's movie, no, not the Poltergeist, The Exorcist, right? So much stuff happening next year. Really excited about that, guys. I wish you all a happy new year, and I'll see you next year. I hope that, I'll still be doing videos because I wasn't doing them much in December, but I hope you guys survived that. I think you did. And yeah, guys, I just wish you a happy new year. I hope you enjoyed a lot of horror movies this year. By the way, let me know down below, what was your favorite horror movie this year? Because I want to know. I want to know what was your favorite horror movie. So let me know down below, guys. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care as always. And bye.